Radio City Center Stage.
So, welcome to Center Stage on Radio City, Arnab. It is so good to have you. And especially coming from Fortis, मुझे पता है इस टाइम पे कितने questions हर किसी के मन में होंगे to ask you, personally also and professionally also. But welcome to Radio City.
Thank you, thank you. I'm delighted and honored to be on the show. So let's just jump right in.
Arnab, डर लग रहा है आपको इस वक्त काम करते हुए मतलब राइट नाउ आई एम श्योर थिंग्स आर प्रीटी मच इन कंट्रोल बट आज से 2-3 महीने पहले की अगर मैं बात करूं फॉर एग्जांपल एज अ हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल समबडी इज वर्किंग इन हॉस्पिटल्स डर रहा है थ्रू आउट
See, I can't share what doctors go. I'm not a doctor, right? I'm a marketeer,
यस
right? So what I'm sharing is my experience, right?
राइट
And like all all what do you say, organizations that understand the impact this will have on employees, on workers, right? My organization, Fortis, also took the right step, right? Establishing work from home, following all guidelines, right? Making sure that we started what is called as e-consultation, so that less more healthcare can reach out to people within
राइट
their homes, right? So on and so forth. So all these steps at an organization level has been taken. There's always fear. Fear is something that'll always be at the back of the mind.
या
But this one line, I would say, for all the nurses, doctors, not only within Fortis but everywhere around, right? They are the guys who really are there at the front lines of the fight on in this fight against COVID, and they are the ones who do everything. I think there's the amount of dedication they show, because they're also fearful. Their loved ones are also at risk. But every single day they go to work, they make sure that people go back healthy, people's ailments are treated. Is a great service. So
एब्सोल्युटली
personally, maybe my fear has been a lot lesser because my organization has done everything possible to make this, make this entire experience, make this entire period feel like we are really in control, right? Everything is done in the right format, right? There's been no pressure any way whatsoever. But the real heroes are doctors, nurses, healthcare workers who are within Fortis, who are within a nursing home, who are within the home clinics, and they're the
यस
ones who are doing exceptional jobs. So kudos to them.
Absolutely, kudos to them. And I think, sir, हम लोग के लिए ना it's very easy. I've realized for people like us to sit here and say कि ये कोरोना वॉरियर है, कोरोना फाइटर है, because every time we see them or we meet somebody ना, तो तब लगता है कि बोलना बहुत आसान होता है, but जो लाइफ ये जी रहे हैं, काम कर रहे हैं, and non stop कर रहे हैं, kudos, thank you, respect. Please convey to your team and to your people also from our end, sir. Um,
I will.
How do you keep yourself motivated? आप motivate कैसे करते हो is a different question, but आप अपने को कैसे motivated रखते हो?
See, there are two ways of looking at things, right? One is you have to constantly evolve, right? You have
Yes,
to constantly learn, right?
yes,
When I started my career,
hmm.
it's mostly what you learn from books and examples and case studies. Then
Yes,
you start learning skills, right? Then you get into execution, right? And then you perfect execution. Then you are involved into tactical stuff, right? Then you slowly from tactical you move on to strategy, and then you help organizations develop strategy. In this entire journey, right, one thing that is constantly changing is how you are evolving and adapting to the situation. When you have nothing to do, who stops you from reading and gaining more knowledge? Who
absolutely,
stops a person from acquiring a different skill set?
absolutely.
I am a marketeer, but I love working on engines and motors and cars, right? That's a passion. So I'll read more about that. I acquire that as a knowledge, what it does is two things. It keeps my mind busy.
Absolutely.
You've been seeing a lot of these, you'll hear about a lot of these cases of people, going into depression and so on and so forth. Well, I feel that if you keep yourself motivated, if you keep yourself busy, if you keep increasing your knowledge base, not necessarily in something that is related to your career, but something that can actually be your liking, something that you've been wanting to do. I mean, look at who would have had so much time with the family, right?
Right.
Why couldn't take that much time with the family to understand each other, right, in the family? I mean, that's a great experience. you know Look at those smaller things that you are gaining in all of this, and when you are able to get yourself motivated by all of these smaller things, is when all of these negative thoughts will disappear. You will feel refreshed, you will want to learn more, you will want to do, you will want to go beyond. And that's what I do. I keep learning, I keep understanding, keep reading, I keep talking to people, keep acquiring more knowledge, whether it is regard professionally, whether it is personally, whether it is spiritually. These are things I keep doing. Right? Even something as simple as listening to music can also, help you calm your mind. So that's
Yes.
it. That's my mantra. I keep evolving myself in some form or the other.
Totally. So reading definitely. I think I have read the maximum books in last 5 months. I think compared to vis-a-vis my entire career, and I think that really helps. But of course, the other part of the question: how do you motivate your team when there are a lot of people coming to you? I'm sure जो आपने बोला mental health issues बहुत लोगों को हुए हैं. Working from home has not been easy. I think I had a burnout myself. How do you motivate your team, sir? उस time पे?
So, again, from a personal experience, all I can tell you is listening is a big important factor, right?
Yes.
What I have generally seen is if I can listen to somebody, right, at a stretch till the point of time that everything that is there in them, right, is comes out, right? Because once they are, first of all, once they are able to speak what they feel,
Mm.
right, half the burden is over.
Yes.
Then, the second thing is pinpointing the pain areas, right? What is it that is effect? Is it being at home? Is the fact that all of a sudden there is no help, right, available, and therefore you will have to look at the family and look at working in the same hours. How do
Right.
you? Some people get frustrated because of that, and then figuring out an alternate. Right,
Mm.
well understood. This is a part of a responsibility as a lady, that you have to take care of your family in the morning, and then there is this meeting. So can I reschedule the meeting which will be more convenient? Because there's always a solution, right?
Right.
Figuring out that solution. And I always say that this you'll have to come midway. Some bit you walk, some bit I'll walk, and we'll
Absolutely.
meet in the midway. And once we meet in the midway, what I've seen is most people are able to then, feel that there is progress that is being made in not only finding a solution, but also the big fact that they feel relieved when sometimes they come to me with a solution, sometimes I'll have to help them with a solution. But either ways, the job of any leader, I think, is to present a solution. It is better that I will motivate my team to figure out their solution, because that will help. Then they will go through that internalizing process.
Mm.
But if not, I would want to do it the other way around, and I will certainly give if you don't give them a solution, right? They will. Where do they have to look to? And as a good leader, solutions are important,
Yes.
right? They may necessarily not agree with it, but that's my work to explain them why this is the right choice, right? Why this is the right way, and that's what I do for them, right? And one thing I'll again like to, sometimes you will feel that some people are not, it's not easy to open up.
Yes.
That is where a leader has to make that extra. He has to go that extra mile to make that team member feel comfortable so that he or she can open out in front of you. And
Right.
once they're open, once they discuss, solution will present itself. That's what I do.
But sir, I would really want you to talk to a lot of youth who would probably watch this video and aspire to get into marketing. How important it is to actually stick to a place for XYZ number of years professionally.
So, well, sticking to a place, you've asked the right person. I have been with Fortis for now 9.5 years, right?
Yes.
And when I started my career, I started it with Genpact, then moved on to trying my hand at a startup, right? Didn't really work. Then completed my PGDM, moved to just had movement across two organizations. I first started my career with Kotak Group, and then moved to Fortis, and I've been in the marketing team ever since then. You know what? The things that I believe that if you stay for a certain amount of time in an organization, right? Especially somebody like me, I get to feel the pulse of the organization.
Right.
You have seen the ups and downs of the organization, and you start realizing that the organization itself, right, has a lot of give and take that happens with every employee, right?
Right.
To some employees, the take may happen first, but the give will come. Just that you have to wait for it, right? And for some employees, give happens first, and when you are getting a lot, right, you have to be sure that at some point of time you will have to stand up for your organization, right? So it's a give and take with any loyalty, right? Whether it's a program, whether it's an whenever you join a loyalty program, right? While it's called loyalty, it's actually a give and take, right? And therefore, I always believe that it cannot be a one-sided affair, right?
Right.
So whenever you're thinking of joining an organization, right, whether in the marketing team or anywhere else, please believe that from day one, everything will not work exactly according to what you want, right?
Mm,
But over a period of time, as you get to know the pulse of your organization, right,
mm,
you will see that it will ultimately become a give and take. Sometimes you will stand up for your organization through their tough times, and sometimes the organization will reward you for all the efforts that you do. And most organizations, right, not just mine, fall in this category.
absolutely. Yeah. There are a lot of times when in our younger days or in our beginning of a career, there's a question that is asked often in interviews. Where do you see yourself after 10 years? Did you really see yourself here in like, say, 10 years ago? Rising up the ladder like this? Was there ever a plan, sir, to move like this in a direction?
I'll tell you what. Uh, To be very honest, and this is an answer that is coming from I'm not one of those guys who's been extremely brilliant in his studies. I'm not the IIM kinds. No, I'm not that. I'm a pretty mediocre guy, right? Who understood early on just one thing: there is no substitute to hard work, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And no matter what field you choose, right? Some people are fortunate to get to work in the field, they choose, they like, and some don't, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot run away from hard work. I've also had the privilege of being guided by some industry leaders who have interacted with, and I've always taken their guidance in my career. And the one thing that they told me, I asked them that if I have to rise up in my organization, as a leader, what will be a mantra to me? And that those words, are still there with me. I still follow them. They told me that a good leader will always do things which are very difficult, right?
Right.
With a smile, with absolute calmness, right? And he said that applies to every single thing in your life, right?
Right.
He says if you are a leader by inherently, if let's say, just take a simple example, if you don't like karelas, right? They're bitter, right? But if you have that quality, you will sit on a table in front of 15 people, karela being served to you with a smile. You will just eat it like a normal person. Nobody would even come to know that you. And that's the mark of a leader. You will keep having such situations where you will keep having such situations where you will be faced with situations which you don't like, but you will work your way out of those situations with a smile, with the confidence that you have on projects that you are extremely good at, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what will guide you through your, thick and thin. So for me, that's what I think is the way ahead, right? Keep learning new things, keep always focusing on, gaining knowledge. I think that's what I believe in.
Well, thank you for talking to us here on Radio City. Really glad.
Thank you so much. Take care.